Gladstorm here with a very special episode. I got into the Elder Scrolls Online beta test, the new MMO that Bethesda is making. Now, they were very strict about things. There's going to be no gameplay footage or anything of that nature. I did take a few screenshots to make up for it, so don't worry about that. You'll get to see what I'm talking about here, but I do know of one channel that managed it, Pro Jared. I will provide a link to his video in the description. Other than that, let's get to this. Now, as this is a PC game, the first place we're going to look is the options, which, in my perspective, is lacking. You get audio options. You can change the sounds of pretty much anything, to voices, to walking, it's pretty normal. And then there's the video options, which I had them on low, and the graphic quality of the game was impressive and amazing for an MMO, and that was just on low to medium quality. I mean, you can turn, if you have a computer high enough to turn all this on, it's going to look better than Skyrim. Which, okay, it should, but as an MMO, that's extremely impressive. It's going to be as good, if not better, than a single-player game, which is completely amazing. But it is also lacking in options here. I mean, there's no way to bind your keys whatsoever. What you get there is basically what you have. I mean, granted, it is a beta and they could change this. They might just not want him to do it for the beta, but it was very inconvenient for the testers, and if they change it, great, no complaints here. If they don't, it's going to be inconvenient for anyone. I mean, it is a PC game, and changing your keys is as prevalent as cheese on a sandwich. Anyway, so then there's the brightness settings, the gamma, all that fun stuff. I had my brightness all the way up, and that was the minimum standard that they wanted for their brightness, which, in my opinion, is completely ridiculous. Like, I turn my brightness up just every time I play any game because I live in a bright house with people, and they like to have lights on, and there's glare. So when there's glare or a light right behind me and I can't see everything I'm supposed to because I can't turn up my brightness, it irks me. Hopefully they'll fix that in the beta too. Or after the beta, because this was the beta. But yeah, that was it for the options. As for the game itself, let's start with the combat. I'm extremely impressed. It is very refreshing to have this real-time combat, no hotkey, or there's hotkeys, there's 1 through 5, or 6, basically, of skills, and I didn't even fill that up by the time I ended my beta. It's just incredible. It's like Skyrim, but online in an MMO, where you're fighting like you would there, you're slashing them, you're holding to do a power attack. They're doing a power attack against you when you're blocking or shunting them to stun them and then do a power attack to knock them flat on the ground. I mean, determining by how you enter combat alone, not just by what skills you have and what skills you use, just by combat and basic attacks alone can make or break a fight. That being said, I saw no reason to party up. There's no sharing of objectives or anything. And sometimes it actually proved to be a hindrance for me partying up. I had one instance where I actually needed a party, the one of 2 times that I needed it, and I couldn't see the other members of my party as soon as we entered the dungeon. Like, we were outside, we see them fine, they entered it, and it's like I'm in another part of the server instead of with the group. And I can't do anything with them, them fighting's not going to help me. Our party is separated and dying. It's them 3 and then me. And I was the highest level and the tank. So I pretty much was determining what aggro went where, and nothing helped with that. Another note is that there's no no damage indicators, no numbers to tell you anything. It's entirely immersive. I will say that it's immersive as I'll get out. There's health bars, but that's about it. But that being said, a lot of MMO players like to see these things, to know their stats, improve things, say, okay, this is how strong I am, this is my indicators for a guild. You're not going to get any of that here. If that's what you're looking for, and you're just out to find, let's say, the best gear from a quest, because quests won't show you it either. You do a quest and it gives you this storyline, and it's incredible by how you're immersed in it. You're trying to actually help these people. You get choices. I had one moment, I was playing in the Ebonheart Pact as a Nord, so I started off in Skyrim with just... It looked great for... Yeah, I mean, it was Skyrim, so you know how it looked. And then I was taken to Morrowind, which, as a location, it just looked incredible with giant mushrooms and everything around. I didn't find it very barren at all until I got to Ash Mountain, which was filled with lava and fire and Daedra. Um, I did do the other starting areas. I started as a half elf for the Daggerfell Covenant, and I was in a desert for that. And I did Wood Elf for the Aldmeri Dominion, and let me tell you, the Elven lands are beautiful. Just incredible. But yes, there's no point indicators, no health meters. Well, there's health meters. But, it doesn't tell you how much damage you're doing to their health, or how much damage you're taking. You have to know what you're doing, and in the story, it doesn't tell you what you're going to get. Like I said, I was in Ebonheart Pact, and I was faced with this heart-wrenching choice of either A, going to help these people at the fort and stop the attack there, which it had walls, so it was more defended, but they had magic, which could, scale the walls. Or I could go help this smaller group face on this spearhead coming in from the docks, which has no walls and they're civilians. I chose to go save the docks, and the rewards are pretty good in the end. Sometimes you get 100 gold, which will cover just about anything you need gold-wise, quest-wise, unless you're looking for a horse. The cheapest one was 17,000 gold. There's no way I made it 10 levels, and I never even made that much. Spending or not, I wouldn't have gotten a horse. That being said, let's get into some crafting. Now, there's woodwork, there's tailoring, metalworks, all this just amazing stuff. You run around the world and find supplies, which the best way to get supplies I found, because of course it's an MMO, is I camped one and waited for it to respawn. Because if you're just out hunting for them, like iron, it's going to be pretty much picked clean. It's hard to find. But once you get enough, you refine the iron ore into iron ingots at the thing. That's something that was complicated, and for the actual game, I think it needs to either be explained better or simplified, because it took me a full day out of the 3 we got for the beta. And then you get different styles, so if you want it to look a certain way, like, I had a friend make me armor, and it was all elven. It was fun, and then I leveled up some and figured out how to make stuff of my own, and I was like, I'm a Nord. I want it to look Nordic. I want the horns. So that's what I did. I improved its level up to mine, which improved all the ratings. There's enchanting. You find runes scattered around everywhere. I mean, it was incredible. Here's a look of where my character started. Well, not started, but after I actually got a few good pieces of equipment before making anything of my own. I still had the pants that you started off in prison with. Yes, you start off in prison. But Yeah. So, in the enchanting, you find 3 base runes and you put them together, and they make, or 3 different types of runes, aspect based and potency, something to that extent. And that together will make one single enchantment which you can put on your equipment. So you can entirely go through this game making your own armor and weapons if you want. I mean, you can make shields through woodworking and bows and even magical staves. Metalwork, you can make metal armor, metal weapons, have all that heavy gear, or you can go find leather and make light armor, and you go through an entire skill tree of that for tailoring. Story-wise, you start in the Cold Harbor Prison, which is a realm of oblivion. No, you're not helping the people that imprisoned you this time. It's something I actually like, because, if I was just thrown randomly in jail for no reason, I'd be pretty mad. In fact, I was always mad. That's why when I played Skyrim, I played as a Stormcloak. Why? Because the Empire was going to chop my head off. Simple as that. Sorry. All that other stuff, no, if you try to kill me, I'm gonna kill you. That's how I play games. So, yes, you start off in Cold Harbor and you meet the Prophet, which I've heard from 2 different sources, none of which I actually confirmed, but it's either a Dumbledore, which I heard from a very big Harry Potter fan, and I myself think that it was Uriel Septim from Oblivion. Either way, 2 great voice actors for this game for that role, and it's amazing. They have some great voice actors. I found in this Cold Harbor prison the butler from Fable 3. He didn't play a big role, but he was there for 1 moment, and it was a nice touch. But yes, you're imprisoned there by Molag Bal. Just look at this man. He is huge. He's a giant. Just Molag Bal is, oh my god, big. Just like in Oblivion when you had to face Mehrunes Dagon, he's big, and he's got his own cult and everything. It seems Thesdadra's only way to get to the world of Nirn is through cults, which for Molag Bal, they drop anchors from Cold Harbor to Nirn. That's what the world is called, by the way, if you didn't catch that yet. Yes, so you go to Nirn through there. Now, you're working with this Nord woman that's got the blood of giants, which if you played Skyrim and you saw giants, I want to know how a giant and a human mated. And how she has giant in her physiology to begin with. Ignoring that, she's one of the 5 companions, which we learn about later. I'm not going to tell you that specific story, but I will say it shows an Elder Scroll, which I had to include a picture of. It's an Elder Scroll. My jaw dropped basically that I saw an Elder Scroll in an MMO, which, by the way, your guilds, I didn't get to this point, but I looked at the information. Your guilds can actually control Elder Scrolls and locations in Cyrodiil, which means not only can it be your faction against people, it can be your guild against other members of your own faction for supplies, which is pretty cool. I mean, big guilds are going to have the Elder Scrolls, basically. If one guild has them all, I can't imagine what power they would have. I didn't get to the PvP, I will say this straight up. And the combat itself, it didn't seem to need that many. It didn't need anyone to group with, like I said. Stealthing was useless. Everyone was just running around randomly. I actually didn't lag, which in an MMO is also impressive. I was in an area where there's people fighting things everywhere. No lag whatsoever. I mean, it was awesome. But that's not to say the game didn't have bugs. I mean, just look at this. I'm stuck in the floor. In the beta, we constantly had to reload the UI. Again, this is beta. This is why we played it, so they fixed this. Hopefully they take it and learn from it. If they don't, I'm going to be disappointed. But what sold me this $15 a month was the story. I saw the Elder Scroll, I saw the Amulet of Kings, which I am not sure how that's going to play in. But yes, it's going to be awesome right there. Just that alone. Now, I was playing through the Ebonheart Pact storyline as a Nord, like I said. Here's me fully armored at the end of it at level 10. That right there is incredible and awesome. I love it. But, that being said, the combat itself, yes, you do have to improve, but there's not that much need for it. I had one single moment where I actually needed a group after dying alone fighting this guy 8 times. It was only for the Ebonheart Pact to fight this guy, and he healed. We were inside the volcano of Ash Mountain, Morrowind. Just gonna say that right now. Beautiful place. Very lava-y. Lava heals him. I had to get in a group, and I died 8 times alone. Got 2 other guys, same rank, same class, basically using shield and sword and 2-handed weapon. There was no mage, there was no healer. We just rushed in, swung at him a few times, and he went down. Once you're in a group, even guys that heal, you're not going to have problems against. I mean, there's not going to be many problems combat-wise unless they did it for the beta alone, just so you can get through it faster. But if that's how it is, it's going to be a very easy fighting-wise game to play, but at the same time, I loved it. Again, it's just refreshing. A lot of people aren't going to like it. It's not as free as Skyrim. It's freer than MMOs. I walked into a guy's house and stole all his food, basically. I couldn't take his plates, I couldn't take his fours, I can't take weapons and sell it at the shop, but I can take food. And it wasn't illegal either. I walked in, I said hi, I took their stuff and walked out. No issue. There is the Fighters Guild and Mages Guild, and the Fighters Guild, it actually had me fighting the Worm Cult, which was the main bad guys. So that's where, and it's going to be all across all factions, so that's where you're actually going to fight the true enemy. Fighting each other is going to be the main storyline. Except for the storyline with the Prophet. That's actually going to be where you're going to the Realm of Oblivion to face Molag Bal. There's these sky shards everywhere. This helps with exploration. Not only do you find random quests, people run up to you, there was a ghost following me at one point, but you find these sky shards, and 3 of them gets a skill point, and these skills are incredible. I actually didn't look at them, I just focused on my weapons, which was my sword and shield, and one section of my Dragon Knight thing, which I got this Scorpion get over here chain. It lights people on fire. You go impale people with this chain and pull them to you. Oh, I'm facing a mage. I'm facing an archer. He's running away. Get over here! Right in my face. Stun him. Slice him up, and he's done with. It's fun. It's very fun. So yes, I would definitely suggest this game, minus the reloading UI and the bugs and the limited options, all that stuff I didn't like, but that's going to be gone. I would give this an 8 out of 10. Definitely worth a buy. The storyline itself, if you like Elder Scrolls the story of Elder Scrolls games, you're going to love this. I mean, I would say it's worth $15 a month so far. I'd have to see after the actual release in April, but so far, it's got 2 thumbs up. I'm Gladstorm. Thank you for watching this. If you liked it, give me a thumbs up. If, give me a like, and if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I hope to release more game videos as well. I have to get my channel up and running to get some equipment for that, but once I do, I will be starting Let's Plays. And this is my first game video. Thank you for watching, and have a great day. This is Gladstorm rolling out.